Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy that you're here today. I have a super simple pumpkin muffin recipe. This one in specific is a sourdough pumpkin that also has chocolate chips inside. It's a little bit more gut friendly. It makes for a great snack. Kids love it, the whole family loves it, and it's something good to have on hand. It's got some fiber in there from the pumpkin. It's got the gut-friendly bacteria from the sourdough. Got some eggs, so overall it's a healthy snack that I like to feed my family. Essentially this recipe, you could make it as a one bowl recipe, kind of just mix in the wet ingredients and then do the dry ingredients on top of that. I personally like to mix the dry ingredients separately and then mix them in with the wet ingredients just to make sure that the baking soda and the baking powder are really well incorporated into the flour. But if you're tight on time and you just don't want to do any more dishes, you feel free to do this in one bowl. In a bowl, you're going to incorporate 2 cups of pumpkin puree. This one is homemade just because we ended up going to a pumpkin patch this year and I had a ton of pumpkins. Like a canned pumpkin would do just fine as well. Next thing you're going to add is 1 cup of brown sugar. And give that a little bit of a mix. Start incorporating the wet ingredients. To that, I'm adding a cup of active sourdough. Some people like to use a sourdough discard. I don't use my sourdough that way, so my starter, I don't feed it when I don't use it, so I just put it in the fridge. So I don't ever have discard. So I just have some active sourdough that I like to add because I feel like it adds also to the height of the muffin. If you want to get those big, round, tall bakery style muffins, this helps a lot, as well as the baking soda and the baking powder we're going to be adding into the dry ingredients. You could also use a sourdough discard if that's what you have on hand. I also have a friend that makes this recipe and she doesn't have sourdough, so she just omits it and they turn out great as well. They might not have as much height, but the flavor is there. So I'm just going to mix that in, make sure it's nice and incorporated. Actually, I have a spatula right here. I'm just gonna do that with a spatula. It'll be a little easier. But if you don't have a spatula, you could do it with a spoon. It's that easy of a recipe. It's not fussy at all, and they come together in no time. And then I like to add 1/2 cup of either, you have some flexibility here, either 1/2 cup of melted butter or 1/2 cup of coconut oil, which really adds a lot of moisture to it because coconut oil is pure oil. There's no water content as butter does. Or I kind of like to do 1/4 cup of butter, 1/4 cup of oil, just because the coconut oil will add a lot of moisture into the muffin, but it won't help it rise as much, so to get that like bakery style muffin. So I kind of like to do a little bit of both, and then that way I get the moisture of the coconut oil, but then again I still get that height that I'm looking for with the butter as well. So I'm just going to continue to mix this until it's nice and incorporated. Stir it a little bit more, just until all the oil is really blended in. It's already smelling amazing and we haven't even added our spices yet. I then add the vanilla. I'm adding a tablespoon of vanilla extract. Gives it a nice depth of flavor. I love adding vanilla to baked goods. I usually will add more than the recommended amount just because I love the depth of flavor, and it really enhances, I feel like, the other flavors that we put in there. So you have a couple options here as well. You could add your spices directly to the wet ingredients or to your dry ingredients. It's completely up to you. I'm gonna start with the cinnamon. We need a tablespoon of ground cinnamon. I like to use Ceylon cinnamon, which has also added benefits as opposed to the traditional cinnamon that we find in grocery stores. This one's an organic Ceylon cinnamon from Sri Lanka. So I'm gonna add the cinnamon. And then I'm adding 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. I wouldn't add too much of the nutmeg just because it is a strong spice and you don't want it to overpower your muffins. And the same thing goes with the clove. I have some ground clove here. I'm just adding 1/4 teaspoon. Just adding that in. Get another quick stir. And then the last thing I'm adding is a couple of eggs into my wet ingredients, and then I'll go ahead and mix the dry ingredients. So just 2 large eggs that are at room temperature. And you can really see how much moisture the eggs add to the wet ingredients. It just makes it nice and soft. Next, you want to incorporate the dry ingredients to a separate bowl. I'm going to now add the dry ingredients. I'm adding 2 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm adding a teaspoon of baking soda and then 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I like to use this Bob Red Mills because it's aluminum free. I didn't realize up until a few years ago that there was aluminum in baking powder, which was upsetting. So thankfully we can find better options. So 2 teaspoons of the baking powder and then a teaspoon of salt, which enhances the sweetness of the muffins. And that's why you'll see salt added to most baked goods. So I'm just incorporating that. Give it a quick mix. And then take your wet ingredients and slowly incorporate your dry ingredients. I like to add them a little bit at a time so I'm not over mixing my batter. And you're not then gonna get that lift that we're looking for those nice tall muffins. So I just incorporate until it's just mixed in, and then I'll like to add a little bit more. So I'll probably do like 3 rounds of mixing and adding the dry ingredients. Again, as I'm mixing this, all the spices are just really coming out and smelling amazing. And when you have them in the oven, this really comes together and smells even more, like your whole house smells amazing. The last step is to add 1 cup of chocolate chips. And your batter is officially ready to go. I have a ready to go muffin tin that I've lined with these homemade tulip liners. I'll link the video that shows you how to quickly make these little cute liners. You can of course use regular muffin liners. I like the look of these. I like the way that they peel easier. And I like the fact that I can fully divide the batter into the 12 cups. It gets pretty full, and I find with the regular liners, it kind of tends to just overflow, whereas these tulip liners really hold the batter together and help with the height again. It's all about presentation. My dream is to one day to own a bakery, so kind of pretend I have my own little bakery here with my family and with my friends where I can share the baked goods that I make. So you have your muffin tin that's ready to go, you have your batter that's ready. So you can either use a ice cream scoop if you have one, or you can just use 2 spoons like I'm going to do here. I start off by just putting a generous tablespoon of batter in each cup, and then I go and top up with whatever batter I have left, just so I can have even muffins afterwards. But then that way you don't start off by overfilling your cups if you don't have to. This is how much batter I have left after I've done the 1 round of dividing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and top all of these up until I have no batter left. Once the batter is all divided, I kind of just like to go and kind of even out or like make pretty swirls on top of the muffin. This is completely optional. It just makes for a nicer end product. Because the batter is so firm, it doesn't really drop and settle. It just kind of stays where you've put it. So I just kind of go in and even it out a little bit. I've had my oven preheating at 350, and I'm gonna pop these into the preheated oven for about 17 to 20 minutes. Again, every oven is different. At the 17-minute mark, you can start inserting a wooden toothpick and seeing if there's any batter that comes out. If it comes out clean or like a few little crumbs, then you know it's perfect and it's time for them to come out. And there you go, that is how you make pumpkin sourdough chocolate chip muffins. It's a mouthful, but it is the perfect fall snack. If you're a lover of everything pumpkin spice, then you will absolutely love these muffins. They come together in no time and the whole family will love them. The house will smell amazing when you make them. So I really hope you give these muffins a try and let me know in the comments down below how you like them. If you're looking for another muffin recipe as well, I'll link another delicious and nutritious chocolate muffin recipe that you can give it a try. Don't forget to leave a comment down below and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.